or true or not. But I have not seen it. I don't look at the Cosby Show now because there's a lot of hypocrisy there. And I feel as though I was lied to growing up. It's like finding out that your father, and let's be real, Bill Cosby was a dad for a lot of us growing up, because so many of us, thanks to the Clinton administration super predator programs, so many of us lost our fathers to the system, right? So now our dad lied to us.
So let me ask you this part. What about the person that is checking you out at Target and they're a pedophile?
What are you saying to me? First of all, how old am I? Because if I'm 7, I'm running to my mom. I mean, I don't know what you're saying to me right now.
If you're 7, you're not checking yourself out.
Right. So, what are you saying? Like, get your analogy together. Get your analogy together.
My analogy is there are people who do illegal, morally horrific things all day, every day, and they get a check.
Yeah, of course.
They have a job. They maintain their livelihood. So why do we take celebrity? Why do celebrities losing access to their livelihood the way that we punish them? That's my question.
I think that's an interesting question, and I don't think that. So I can't answer that from my own personal perspective, because that doesn't work for me in that way.
Talk to me. Where's the flaw? Talk to me about the flaw in my metaphor.
I don't look at celebrity the way other people do. Like, you and I have had personal conversations in which you've said, did you know so-and-so does such and such? And I've said to you, those people don't pay my rent. I don't know their business. And I really don't know I can't tell you Kim and Kanye, this, that.
But that is a little bit also of my point, though. It's like, so for instance, I love Beyonce Carter Knowles. I do. I love her. I am about her. I don't assume that anything of what she portrays about her life is real.
Right.
I assume some parts may be real because she's drawing from something, but I oftentimes work in the other default of that. All of the things and complexities about her life I will never know. Not only do I not need to know, but I also respect the right that she is a human being who should have a disconnection between her persona and who she is as a person. So that to me begs the question of, where is the line between the art and the artist? Why can I not appreciate a product created by someone who is deeply flawed, but still recognize them as being deeply flawed and criticize them for their behavior?
Why is
boycotting my option?
I believe you can, and I don't think it is. Nor do I think that boycotting is appropriate for you in all places. So, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. And here comes, you want to talk controversy? This is going to be fun.
Controversy?
I didn't have a problem with what Roseanne said. It wasn't a shock to me. Roseanne has always said rather racially insensitive or insensitive or downright racist things throughout her entire life. Like, that's who Roseanne is. I didn't really care about the show because I didn't look at the old one nor the new one, because that doesn't work for me. I had no vested interest in it, so it didn't mean anything to me. So when ABC canceled the show, it meant about as much to me as you telling me right now there's a fish cooking on a plate, in Sri Lanka. Oh, okay. Like, I don't know. I don't care. Like, that's not a part of my thing. So I'm not big on let's run out and punish someone because they said something. I'm big on, there are certain things I don't want a part of my own personal space because my mental health and wellness is too important to me, and allowing certain things in that will affect that.
Okay.
And so for the Bill Cosby, because he was so vehement and vile, and I mean really vile, in speaking down to our young brothers about walking around with your pants down. That's why you have no jobs, blah, 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 blah. And you can say that this is coming from a place of love, and you can say it's tough love. But then to be that person and then to also be a rapist is incongruent to me. And you've just lost credibility. Yeah. And because you've lost credibility, I cannot stand behind you, which means I do not want to have anything to do with anything that you're doing. Does it mean that the Cosby Show was not an amazing show that showed a loving family and how a loving black family dealt with real world issues? Absolutely it is. And to the people that can still take something from the Cosby Show, I wish them the absolute best and wish they continue looking at it, supporting it. Get that DVD, get it, download it, stream it, do whatever you need to do. However, for me, I can't have it a part of my psychic space because for me, it would feel as though I were supporting a rapist, and that is something I cannot do. I love my mother too much. That is my personal choice. Okay. And so I think the thing that you're talking about is what I call, and you know, again, zero tolerance for BS. I call it the hashtag of the weak anger. I don't have that. I don't want to mute R. Kelly today because he gave an STD to a woman last week. Yeah, it was mute R. Kelly because he gave an STD to a woman who went on the Tom Joyner show, and Tom Joyner said, well, I'm not going to play his records anymore. He gave you this. I muted R. Kelly when I saw with my own eyes a video of him pissing on a girl.
Now that is NSFW.
But
that's to be clear.
I said pissing, urinating. Sorry, urinating on a young lady.
Even all of it is too much. Right. All of it is too much.
That's when I muted R. Kelly. I had nothing more for him. Had no reason.
Let me see if I hear what you're saying. Let me see if I hear what you're saying. Is that you take you are pointing out that there can't be this universal line in the sand, that it really comes down to not only your own personal integrity, but for your individual specific moral values and beliefs will decide what you support and how you support folks.
And this is where we all fail because we all join in the mob mentality and jump on the bandwagon and move forward. Let's be clear. You started off the top of the show talking about familial separation, right? Mm-hmm. Here's what people think. People think that this is a law that started when Trump came into place and he did it to hurt people and destroy. No, this same law has been in existence when Obama was president, when Bush was president. Presidents previously have enforced this law. Obama, when he first came into power, enforced it, but then felt, nope, this is not going to work because if this is how this is working and this goes here. So what we're going to do is we're going to ignore the law and not enforce it. But it never came off the books. Ignoring something and not enforcing it are two different things. If you want to fault President Trump for anything, and trust me, it pains me to even say that, to say what I'm going to say, fault him for enforcing a law that was left on the books. Don't fault him for following the law. Now, he has a choice to do it or not. And as you noticed in the last week, he wrote an executive order that said, I will not separate families. That is his power as the executive to enforce the law or not. But if he enforces it, we can't say he put it there. It was already there. And this is why I'm saying, let's stop and deal with the real issues, the systemic issues. Correlating with what you're talking about here, everything that we're talking about is about power. People in positions of power using their power to oppress other people, to get away with bad behavior, to do things that if any of us out in the streets would do, we would be locked up or fined or infractions or something. But these people get away with it because they are exempt. And it's our buying into their celebrity that helps them to maintain this exemption. Look how many chances Lindsay Lohan had, and she's still not in a real jail cell.
I can't even get into her. I want to talk. So that brings me to where I really would like to go with the rest of the conversation after the break, so that we could talk about. So, because for me, the issue isn't about for me, the fundamental issue isn't about whether we support or don't support. It is about what is accountability. And if losing contracts, if not being able to have your film promoted, if not having your music played, et cetera, if that is the only expectation that we have for accountability. And I think that to me feels way too shallow and brittle. And so I do want to talk about systemic change. I want to talk about equity and social justice on the other side of the break.
And let's talk about that in 2 minutes.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. Be the someone who gives their time. Be the someone who lends an ear. Be the someone who takes a step. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN, asking you to join the fight against sexual violence and volunteer in your community. Log on to rain.org, that's RAINN.org, to learn how you can be the someone.
This message brought to you by the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network and this station.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Sparky the Fire Dog here. Protect your family from fire. Make sure your home has smoke alarms in every bedroom, outside your sleeping areas, and on every level of your home, even your basement. For games and activities, go to sparky.org.
We want to keep you, your family, and your community safer from fire. This message brought to you by the National Fire Protection Association and your local fire department. Visit sparky.org.
Una vela es una llama ardiente. Nunca deje una vela prendida sin atender. Apáguelas cuando salga de la habitación o cuando se acueste a dormir. Un mensaje de la Asociación Nacional de Protección contra Incendios.
So when we had episode #SpeakTruthToPower in season 2, we had Isha Pandit on with us, who's a long-term community, a long-time community organizer, social justice champion. And, you know, one of the things that I asked her about was, so we were talking about in that episode about consent, about social justice, and moving forward. So what do we do now that like the #MeToo movement has brought a lot of indiscretions to light, and there are increasing avenues and organizations around try to mediate the effects of sexual assault, sexual abuse. But I was asking her, like, what do we do next, sort of thing. And one of the things she said she was hopeful about was using restorative justice as a framework for how we move forward. And that was really an intriguing idea for me. And I think how I connect the dots is that, you know, we've sent people like Harvey Weinstein away, right? I don't know where the sentencing is with Bill Cosby because the man is in his 80s, right? And I know at some point there was conversation about like if he served time in jail, what would that really mean? What would that look like, etc. I don't know.
At this point, it's nothing because what is that going to do?
Right.
So
that's the question.
Yeah.
Right. Let's take a Nate Parker, for instance. He's been on the underground, as far as I know, since Birth of a Nation. I don't know if he's got.
Let me just tell you, and I got to stop you for a second.
What?
Because the kiki of saying he was on the underground is not lost on me. just to let you know that.
You let my puns live. Let's see. Roseanne lost this contract, right? You know, who knows what she may be able to fund for herself in the future, et cetera, et cetera.
They are coming out with a new show based on that called The Connors.
But she's not on it.
Yeah.
Is she getting a check?
But we don't know if she's associated with it or a part of it or how the thing is. You know, things happen behind the scenes. People, here's
True.
the thing. Here's the thing. And I know where you're going with this, so I just want to say this part beforehand. If you are truly in power and you are able to maintain that power, and I need people to understand power is not about the amount of money you have in your checking account. It's the amount of numbers you have on your phone. If you are really, really in a position of power, you can go on, take me off this show, take me off that